Hello, children. Today I will be reading you a story called The Minotaur from the book Illustrated Stories from the Greek Myths, which was retold by Russel Punter and illustrated by Linda Cavallini, published by Usborne.
Chapter 1 A Deadly Demand. King Aegeus paced the floor of his mighty palace at the heart of Athens. He had been dreading this day for the past 9 years. As he had expected, a messenger arrived with a letter for him. "Oh no," sighed Aegeus as he read the contents of the letter. "Not again. What shall I do?" "What's wrong?" asked his son Theseus. King Aegeus waved the letter under Theseus's nose. "Read this," he moaned. "It's from Minos, that cold-hearted king of Crete." The letter read, "To King Aegeus of Athens. Send 14 of your people to me by the end of the month. Signed, King Minos of Crete. P.S. I want 7 men and 7 women. P.P.S. If you don't do as I ask, there will be trouble." "I don't understand," said Theseus. "Minos's son died here in Athens," explained Aegeus. "As revenge, every 9 years he demands 14 of our people." "What for?" asked Theseus. "He sends them into a giant maze called the Labyrinth," replied Aegeus. "Sounds fun," said Theseus. "Fun?" spluttered his father. "At the heart of the labyrinth lies a Minotaur." "It's a terrible creature," Aegeus added. "It's half man, half bull, and it eats people." Chapter 2 Theseus has a plan. "What am I to do?" moaned Aegeus. "I have an idea," said Theseus with a grin. "I'll be one of the 7 men." "Are you insane?" cried his father. He knew Theseus was brave, but this was madness. "The Minotaur will eat you alive," he wailed. "Don't worry, Dad," smiled Theseus. "I'm the best sword fighter in the whole of Athens." Aegeus sighed. "Even if you don't kill the monster, no one has ever escaped from the labyrinth. They say it's impossible to find your way out." "There's always a way," said Theseus confidently. "I'm sure I can solve Minos's maze." King Aegeus begged his son not to go, but it was no use. Theseus's mind was made up. A few days later, Theseus boarded a ship with the others. Aegeus was still very worried. "If Theseus survives," he said to the sailors, "fly white sails on the ship when you return." Chapter 3 Island of Danger. Wind filled the ship's black sails as Theseus and the others set off on their journey. When they finally arrived at Crete, Minos's armed soldiers were waiting on the shore to escort them to the palace. Theseus and the others were taken to the throne room and thrown at the king's feet. "Welcome," roared King Minos. "Enjoy your last meal. At dawn you enter the labyrinth." Guards took the prisoners away and locked them in a dark, dank dungeon. As night fell, Theseus prepared himself for what was to come. After a while, Ariadne, the king's daughter, appeared with food for the prisoners. As soon as she saw Theseus, Ariadne fell madly in love. She couldn't believe how handsome he was. The pair talked for hours. "I can't let you spend the rest of your life in the labyrinth," sighed Ariadne. "Then help me to kill the Minotaur and escape," said Theseus. He needed an accomplice, and Ariadne was in a perfect position to help. Ariadne thought for a moment. "Very well," she said, "if you promise to marry me." All right, Theseus croaked nervously. He didn't plan to get married for a long time, if ever, but he had to agree with Ariadne for now. Ariadne was overjoyed. "Take this ball of magic string," she said breathlessly. "Tie it to the entrance of the labyrinth as you go in." "Then what?" asked Theseus. "You'll see," smiled Ariadne.
If you enjoyed this story, I encourage you to go to the library, borrow this book, so you can read for yourself how the story will end. Bye!